The British monarchy has seen its fair share of drama, but few events have left the royal family and the public as stunned as Princess Charlotte's final warning during a tense family gathering. The young royal uttered the words, "I tried to warn her," an alarming statement that would later take on greater significance. Charlotte's keen observations and actions revealed more than just a child's intuition, they hinted at deeper tensions within the family. What could a 9-year-old possibly foresee that left everyone in shock? Long before her shocking statement, subtle tension simmered between Meghan Markle, Kate Middleton, and even the young Charlotte herself. These underlying frictions would culminate in an incident that shocked everyone. One of the earliest cracks appeared during Meghan Markle's wedding to Prince Harry in 2018. The event was meant to be a celebration of love and unity, but behind the scenes, a less harmonious story unfolded. According to reports, the bride and the Duchess of Cambridge clashed over the attire of the young bridesmaids, including 3-year-old Princess Charlotte. Meghan allegedly criticized Charlotte's dress, calling it ill-fitting and unsuitable for the grand occasion. The remarks were said to have reduced Kate to tears, a rare glimpse of vulnerability in the otherwise composed Duchess. For Charlotte, even at such a young age, the incident seemed to have a lasting impact. The toddler, known for her bright and bubbly personality, appeared visibly subdued on the wedding day. Photographs captured her with a downcast expression, a stark contrast to the joyful atmosphere. Some observers speculated that Charlotte may have sensed the tension between her mother and her aunt by marriage, an intuition that would become a hallmark of her role in the family. Meghan's alleged treatment of Charlotte didn't end there. Other accounts suggest that Meghan's behavior during family events occasionally left Charlotte feeling uneasy. Whether it was the coolness of Meghan's demeanor or a perceived lack of attention toward the young princess, something seemed to stir Charlotte's protective instincts. Kate reportedly took note and often ensured that Charlotte was shielded from interactions that might upset her. Over the years, these small but significant moments added to a growing divide. Charlotte began to adopt a watchful demeanor, particularly in Meghan's presence. Her protective and intuitive nature became more evident as she grew older, and her actions often seemed aimed at maintaining peace and stability within her family. It was during a quiet family gathering at Windsor that tensions, which had simmered for years, were about to boil over. It was at this moment that 9-year-old Charlotte delivered her final warning. The words, "I tried to warn her," would later echo across the halls of Windsor and leave the family in stunned silence. The day began with subtle signs of discomfort. Charlotte seemed unusually cautious around Meghan Markle, and her behavior hadn't gone unnoticed by her parents. Charlotte had an uncanny ability to pick up on emotional undercurrents, and this particular day was no exception. Her frequent glances toward Meghan were filled with curiosity and unease. The tension reached its peak during a conversation between Meghan and Kate. Charlotte, seated nearby, focused intently on their exchange. Meghan, according to sources close to the family, seemed dismissive in her tone. She brushed aside an attempt by Kate to address a sensitive topic. Meghan's body language, her crossed arms, fleeting glances, and clipped responses, suggested irritation. Charlotte, ever perceptive, picked up on her mother's growing discomfort. As the conversation unfolded, Charlotte's eyes rarely left Meghan. Her protectiveness toward her mother was on full display. When Meghan's tone became sharper, Charlotte quietly rose from her seat and moved closer to Kate. It was a small instinctive act, but one that spoke volumes about the young princess's intuitive nature. Then came the pivotal moment. Meghan, in an offhand remark, made a comment that seemed to strike a nerve. Kate's expression shifted, and her composure slipped for just a second. Charlotte immediately noticed the change. Her young face hardened with determination as she stepped forward and said, "She shouldn't do that." I tried to warn her." The room fell silent. All eyes turned to Charlotte. What exactly had the princess warned her about? Sources suggest that the young royal had noticed Meghan's increasingly strained interactions with the family, particularly with Kate. Charlotte's intuition had led her to sense that Meghan's behavior was causing deeper divisions within the family. Her warning had been an attempt to diffuse the growing tension. Meghan's reaction to Charlotte's words was complex. Initially stunned, she quickly regained her composure and brushed off the child's comment with a forced smile. However, those who witnessed the moment say Meghan's expression betrayed a flicker of unease. For someone accustomed to controlling her public image, being called out by a 9-year-old, especially in front of senior royals, was an unexpected blow. In the hours following the confrontation, the mood in Windsor remained tense. Kate and William were seen taking Charlotte aside for a quiet conversation. Meghan, meanwhile, maintained a cold veneer of calm, though insiders later revealed that she privately expressed frustration over the incident. Kate Middleton was the first to react to Charlotte's outburst. Her instinctive response was to comfort the princess. Kate's quiet strength had been a cornerstone of her relationship with her children, and she knew this moment required delicacy. Prince William stood nearby, initially appearing startled. As a father, he understood the gravity of Charlotte's words, but as the future king, he also recognized the broader implications. This was not just a family dispute, it was a moment with the potential to widen the rift between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family. Senior members of the royal family who witnessed the event reacted with characteristic restraint, yet their unease was palpable. According to insiders, Queen Camilla later expressed concern about the escalating tensions. King Charles reportedly pulled William aside to discuss how best to handle the potential fallout. The family understood that Charlotte's statement had exposed fractures that could no longer be ignored. Meghan Markle's reaction, however, was far less reserved. Being indirectly accused by a 9-year-old was not something Meghan had anticipated, and it clearly unsettled her. While she managed to maintain her composure outwardly, her forced smile and stiff posture betrayed her discomfort. Sources close to Meghan later revealed that she was deeply frustrated by the incident. She allegedly confided to Harry that Charlotte's warning felt like a direct attack, one that she believed was orchestrated by Kate and William. Meghan reportedly dismissed Charlotte's words as the product of parental influence and downplayed the possibility that they reflected genuine concern. This perspective only deepened the divide. William and Kate were unwavering in their defense of Charlotte's instincts. They viewed their daughter's actions as a reflection of her innate maturity and awareness, qualities they had always sought to nurture. Meghan, on the other hand, seemed to interpret the warning as part of a broader pattern of perceived slights and hostilities within the family. Prince Harry's role in the aftermath was equally telling. Torn between his loyalty to Meghan and his ties to his family, Harry attempted to mediate. However, his efforts to downplay the significance of Charlotte's words were met with skepticism by William, who saw them as a deflection rather than an attempt to address the root of the issue. The event also prompted discussions among the royal household staff, who had long observed the dynamics between Meghan, Kate, and the children. Some staff members reportedly expressed sympathy for Charlotte, noting that she had always been particularly sensitive to the emotional atmosphere around her. The real origin of the strained relationships within the Windsor family can probably be traced back to Harry and Meghan's wedding day. It was intended to be a joyous occasion, yet behind the scenes, tension simmered. One incident in particular cast a shadow over the festivities: Meghan's alleged unfavorable comments about Princess Charlotte's bridesmaid dress. This moment caused emotional distress and left a lasting impact on the young princess and her perception of Meghan Markle. The conflict between the Windsors centered around the bridesmaids' attire. Princess Charlotte was only 3 years old at the time and was among the young girls chosen to walk down the aisle in custom-made dresses. The dresses, reportedly designed by Claire Waite-Keller for Givenchy, were meant to exude elegance and complement Meghan's voiced dissatisfaction with Charlotte's dress. Sources close to the situation revealed that Meghan criticized the fit, suggesting that it was too loose and did not meet the high standard she envisioned for her big day. Tensions flared when Meghan reportedly demanded alterations. Despite the limited time available, Kate Middleton was already juggling the responsibilities of being a mother and a key member of the royal family, and she found herself caught in the middle. She reportedly defended the design, expressing concern over the tight schedule and the stress it was causing for the children. Meghan's insistence on changes, coupled with her dismissive tone, allegedly brought Kate to tears. Tom Bower's Revenge delves into this moment, portraying it as a pivotal clash between the two duchesses. According to Bower, Kate had tried to maintain her composure during the exchange but was deeply upset by Meghan's approach. The incident occurred during a particularly sensitive time for Kate, who was still recovering from the birth of Prince Louis. Less than a month earlier, for Princess Charlotte, the experience was confusing and unsettling. While too young to fully grasp the complexities of the disagreement, she sensed the tension in the room. Meghan's pointed remarks and the emotional reaction from her mother left an impression on the little girl. Photographs from the wedding day show Charlotte looking subdued and somber. The bridesmaid dress controversy marked the beginning of a strained dynamic between Meghan and Charlotte. While Charlotte's interactions with Meghan were limited, her observations during the wedding preparations likely shaped her view of her aunt. Children are often more perceptive than adults realize, and Charlotte's protective instincts toward her mother may have heightened in response to witnessing Kate's distress. This moment also underscored the differences in approach between Meghan and Kate. Meghan, accustomed to the fast-paced, detail-oriented demands of Hollywood, had a vision for her wedding that left little room for compromise. Kate, on the other hand, was steeped in the traditions and protocols of royal life, prioritizing harmony and the well-being of her children. These contrasting styles clashed and created a rift that extended beyond the immediate disagreement. The aftermath of the wedding day drama lingered long after the event itself. Meghan's alleged comments about the dress and her role in upsetting Kate became a point of contention within the family. For Kate, the incident served as a painful reminder of the challenges of navigating relationships within the royal spotlight. For Charlotte, it marked the beginning of a cautious distance from Meghan. As Charlotte grew older, her understanding of the events surrounding the wedding likely deepened. Conversations within the family and observations of Meghan's interactions may have reinforced her protective stance toward her mother. By the time of her final warning, her memories of the wedding day drama were likely among the factors that shaped her willingness to speak out. Tom Bower's Revenge painted a vivid picture of the wedding preparations as a microcosm of the larger tensions within the royal family. The book highlighted not just the differences in personality and priorities between Meghan and Kate, but also the ripple effects of their disagreements on those around them, including Princess Charlotte. The controversy over a child's dress may seem trivial, but in the context of royal life, it carried significant weight. It revealed underlying issues of communication, respect, and understanding that would continue to challenge family dynamics. This early experience of tension and conflict undoubtedly influenced the strength and clarity with which Charlotte later delivered her final warning. It wasn't just a child's reaction, it was a culmination of years of observing and internalizing the dynamics around her, fueled in part by the unforgettable events of Meghan and Harry's wedding day. Footage of Princess Charlotte during significant royal events offers a revealing glimpse into her emotional depth and intuitive understanding of family dynamics. Her expressions and body language have consistently reflected her acute awareness of tension within the royal family. One of the most striking examples comes from footage captured during Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebration. The event was intended to honor the late monarch's historic reign, bringing together senior members of the royal family, including Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. While the public focused on the spectacle, eagle-eyed viewers noticed something unusual about Princess Charlotte's demeanor. As the family gathered on the Buckingham Palace balcony, Charlotte's expressions were noticeably subdued. At one point, she appeared to glance nervously between her parents and Meghan, her lips pressed tightly together. The footage captured her holding onto Kate Middleton's hand with unusual firmness, as though she was seeking reassurance. Those familiar with the dynamics of the royal family speculated that Charlotte's visible discomfort stemmed from the underlying tension in the room. Another instance of Charlotte's emotional display occurred during Prince Philip's funeral. While the event was somber by nature, Charlotte's maturity stood out. Footage from the ceremony showed her walking closely beside her mother, her gaze downcast but alert. Observers noted how she stayed close to Kate, occasionally looking up as if to check on her mother's emotional state. Her role as a quiet source of comfort was evident, underscoring her protective instincts even in the face of grief. The footage aligns with accounts of Charlotte's intuitive nature. Family insiders have noted that she has an uncanny ability to sense when something is amiss, a trait that has become particularly evident in high-pressure situations. In moments of visible family tension, Charlotte has often been observed positioning herself physically between Kate and Meghan, as though shielding her mother from emotional discomfort. One particularly revealing piece of footage emerged during the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey, one of the last official events attended by Meghan and Harry before stepping back from royal duties. Charlotte's behavior during the service spoke volumes. While other children in attendance fidgeted or appeared distracted, Charlotte was notably composed. She sat upright, her gaze shifting between Meghan, Harry, and her parents. At one point, as Kate appeared momentarily distracted, Charlotte reached for her hand, a gesture of quiet reassurance that did not go unnoticed. These moments, subtle as they may seem, are emblematic of Charlotte's protective role within the family. Her emotional displays show a child deeply attuned to the dynamics around her. This ability to read the room and act accordingly has made her a source of quiet strength for her parents. The footage also highlights Charlotte's growing role as a symbol of unity within the family. While her actions are often instinctive, they convey a maturity that resonates with those who witness them. Critics of the royal family have suggested that the attention placed on Charlotte's emotional displays might be exaggerated, attributing her behavior to simple childhood shyness. However, those who have studied the footage argue that her actions go beyond typical childlike responses. They point to patterns in her behavior, consistently stepping forward in moments of tension, offering comfort to her mother, and observing interactions with quiet intensity that indicate a deeper emotional intelligence.